Welcome to 3 and Out with Jason and Kevin. I'm Jason. That's Kevin. We are brought to you by CincyJungle.com, SB Nation, Cincinnati Bengals website, and brought to you by Eastgate Smiles Dental Care. I reversed those. We're brought to you by CincyJungle.com, sponsored by Eastgate Smiles Dental Care. We're on the Orange and Black Insider on YouTube and anywhere where you get your podcasts. So there's a video side and audio side, and we're on Orange and Black Insider with OBI and Chalk Talk and a lot of great shows. So smash the like button, follow. We appreciate it. Kevin, how's it going, man?
Going good. Heat's killing me. I'm dead tired.
Oh, I know.
But
I know.
Beyond
It's
that,
awful. It's awful. I got to sit. I don't know if you can see over my shoulder is that AC unit, right?
Yeah.
It blows in here, and it's cool. It's cool, but it's not cool like I want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's not cool like I want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm doing this because people don't realize Kevin works outside.
Yes, I do.
So, yeah. So,
it's a nightmare scenario.
I feel,
right
it is. I'm sure it is. I feel bad for you, man. I feel bad for you. But what we're going to do tonight, we're not going to talk about the second preseason game or the third preseason game coming up. We're going to do our 53-man roster predictions. This is the second time we've done it. We're going to go through the offense first, then defense, and we're not going to compare and contrast the two of them tonight. But I'd like to. Here, we'll take a look, in a couple weeks once the actual 53-man roster comes out, and see how we did. So we're going to start right away. Start with quarterback, and we obviously know Joe Burrow is a lock to make the team. We all know that. The question is who's going to play backup quarterback, because I don't think anyone has an idea. I know who I think it should be it should be neither of them because they both played bad.
It should, according to Twitter, it should be Trey Lance.
Yeah, Trey Lance should be. Yeah.
Apparently, we're going to take a swing on Trey Lance.
Yeah. So I think of the two, it should be Jake Browning.
Yep.
Because I think he's outplayed Trevor Siemian, but not like it's. I mean, it's close. They've both been bad. Been bad. That's just. I mean, the offense has scored one touchdown so far this preseason. And that was on a Browning drive at the very end, like garbage time against practice squad players, probably. So, I mean, if Joe Burrow is not healthy, we're in trouble. That's just a fact.
100%. But here's my argument for Browning: is that he still can get better, while Siemian probably is what Siemian is. And also, they called Browning up at the end of the season last year. We all thought it was to get him a game check, but then it came out that they were protecting him from somebody else trying to sign him. Okay. I'm not saying that would happen at the beginning of the season, but I do think it has to be on their minds that putting Jake Browning on the practice squad might be more trouble than it's worth. And I think that could end up pushing them just enough over the edge that Jake Browning's now our guy.
Okay, I get it. I see it. All right, so that's the easiest position we're going to have tonight. All right. On to halfback, running back, tailback, whatever you want to call it. Joe Mixon's a lock. We know that. I'm going to go ahead and assume, and I think it's safe to assume that, let's get there.
Travion Williams.
Yeah, Travion. I'm going to assume that he is not going to start the year on PUP. That he's going to be healthy, right? So, because if that was going to happen, it would have happened already. So, I'm going to say Travion Williams is a lock, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. They let Pirine go because they had Williams. I don't think he's going to be as good, but that was their thinking, is that he's at least a replacement.
Right. And I think Chase Brown is a lock.
Yep.
You don't draft a guy. So the big question comes to Chris Evans. Has Chris Evans shown you enough so far this offseason, Kevin, to keep him and keep a fourth running back, or do you just cut him loose?
I think they keep him. I do. I think they run 4 running backs. I think he's on the bubble. I think he's a cut candidate when Collins comes back, along with a few other people we'll probably end up listing. But I don't think Chase Brown has shown enough yet. I think we'll get there. I don't think he's shown enough yet that they're going to be comfortable running 3 with Chase Brown being the third, but they're not going to put him on the practice squad. So here comes Evans. I don't think I think the Bengals are probably upset with this situation because, again, I don't know why they hate Chris Evans, but fans like him. Maybe he gets a chance. I don't know.
I do agree with you. I think he's going to make the team. I think he's played well. No one has run behind the starting offensive line, so we really haven't been able to see much. We haven't seen any of Williams. We haven't seen Mixon. I don't know if we'll see Mixon this weekend. I don't know what the plan is for the third preseason game. Traditionally, when there were 4 preseason games, the third game was the dress rehearsal. And all the starters play maybe the first half. I don't know what's going to happen. There's only 3 preseason games. This is the last one. I don't know if any starters will play. I don't know if they'll all play. We might see Joe Burrow. I doubt it, but who knows?
I just want to see that O-line out there, man. That's all I care about.
So I do think they keep Chris Evans. I think he showed enough. We know what he can do as a receiver. I think he showed enough as a runner and as a pass blocker. He didn't do too terribly bad. And I think that you're right. I think they'll at least keep him around. And if he doesn't get on the field, like he hasn't been able to traditionally, then I think
I was trying to look up something.
I think that he's a candidate to be released when Leo Collins is activated off pup. So I do agree with you there.
Yes. All right. I think he's on the bubble. By that point, Chase Brown may have developed into something they're a little more confident in. Yep. At that point, they probably finally get rid of Chris Evans, like I feel like they've been dying to do for a while now.
I know. All right. So we're done with quarterback, running back. We're at 6 right now. Brings us to wide receiver. We all know Chase is in. Higgins is in.
Yes.
Boyd is in. We all know. And let's start from there. So now we're at 9. Who's wide receiver 4?
Irwin. 100%.
Trent Irwin. Okay. So he's in.
They love him. We love him. He's great.
All right. So you got Chuck Sizzle. He's in.
Yep. Yoshi's in.
Okay. That's 12.
Now we're running 6. Do you think they run 7? I think they run 7.
Stanley Morgan. Special teams ace.
Beloved by everybody. Special teams ace.
All right.
Stanley Morgan.
So that means 4 running backs, 7 wide receivers.
Yes.
Okay.
And Trent Taylor is gone.
Yeah, I do think Trent Taylor's gone. I do think
I'm not a fan of Trent Taylor, so that's fine by me.
He's good on special teams, but if Trent Irwin separated himself from Trent Taylor by being able to move the ball on the field in offense and score. He scored like 4 touchdowns last year. So
I'm not sold on Trent Taylor as a punt returner either.
Well, I think that could be Chris Evans' job.
It could be. You got to do something with him. They're not going to put him on the field as a running back.
Yep. All right. So 13 players. Now we move on to the offensive line. Okay. So we'll go through the starters first. So
There's just no right answer here, man. I spent, no joke, I spent maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes almost. My daughter had karate, and I'm just, had a notepad sitting there killing time. I still did not come up with a list I'm totally comfortable with. So, O-line. We know
the starters first. Yeah, go through the starters.
We know the 5. Orlando Brown, Alex Kappa, Ted Karras, Volson, and Williams. There are 5. They're locked.
Yep. Right.
Here's the question.
Yes.
Do we believe Carmen makes it to the final team?
I do.
You don't think? We're talking cuts possibility. I don't think it's likely, but it's a possibility. Trades a possibility.
No. I think
we have Billy Price for BJ Hill. We have it. O-line we didn't like. High round draft pick for need.
Yeah, that's not going to happen twice. That's not going to happen. Trade him to the Rams for Aaron Donald. Yeah.
Okay. All right. If you're bullet, I'm gonna throw my hat in it. It's not gonna be our final list. I don't think Carmen makes the final team.
Okay. Well, let's go through. So Max Sharping, I think, is in. I think he's 100%. Taking snaps at guard, taking snaps at center, so he's in.
Yep. Deontay Smith, 100% in.
Yeah. Where are we at? Are we at 19 or 20?
I don't know. Keep going. I'll count.
Okay. All right. So we got Trey. So here's some other guys. You got Trey Hill, Ben Brown, Hakeem Adeniji. You got we already counted Deontay Smith. You got Jackson Kirkland, Nate Gillian, Cody Ford.
Yep.
So
Kirkland's not making it. Gillian isn't making it.
No. I personally think Hakeem Adeniji is probably not going to make it. I could see
if Carmen's on the team, you're right. I don't think Adeniji makes it.
So in your mind, you're taking Adeniji over Carmen.
In my mind, Carmen has potential trade value, and I think it's possible that they're shopping him right now.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's likely. I am saying that, if you include the possibility of cutting him, the possibility of trading him, the possibility, you combine those two, I think it pushes me far enough along that I am not including him in my final roster. for that reason. Where because there's other ways he could leave this team, as opposed to Adeniji. We ain't trading Adeniji.
Yeah,
he's either cut or he's on the team.
Right.
But if Carmen is on our final 53, then I think Adeniji is gone.
Okay. I think it's Carmen. I think they have more invested in Carmen. I do. So
yep.
I think it's
cost
Carmen.
fallacy is a very real thing. I understand.
I know. So
all right, then Adeniji's gone.
Okay, so Carmen's in, and then we have Sharp. So our backup offensive line so far is Sharping, Deancey Smith, Carmen, and then there should be one or two more. So you either have Ben Brown, Trey Hill, or you have Trey Hill, Cody Ford, Ben Brown, Cody Ford. Cody Ford can play inside and outside.
Yep.
You have Trey Hill, who is a center, but you also have Max Sharping, who's taking snaps at center. So you have, I think, you have to keep two of those guys.
I think it's Cody. So you think they're going to run with 10?
Yes,
10
I do think they're running with 10 line.
Okay. Then who's it going to be? It's going to be Cody Ford, and then it's going to be either Trey Hill or Ben Brown.
I think it's probably Cody Ford, Trey Hill.
I agree, but it should be Cody Ford, Ben Brown.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do that then. I kept Carmen.
I'm not saying that's what they're going to pick. I think they're going to pick Trey Hill. I think they should pick Ben Brown.
Oh, okay. Why? Why do you
know
like
what
Ben
I'm saying? I just think he has much higher ceiling. I think he needs time to develop. I think he's likely to be sniped off the practice squad at some point. Week 10, week 11, week 12. People see the upside, the potential. I just like him better as a player. If it was who could start right now, I'm probably leaning Trey Hill. But ideally, that's not the question. The question is who has to start for 2 games week 10.
Right.
And I think Ben Brown might be better than Trey Hill with the snaps, with the progression by then.
Okay. All right. Well, let's stick with Trey Hill. We'll do this. We'll go Ben Brown and Jackson Carmen. Ben Brown, Jackson Carmen. All right. Okay. Trey Hill's out. All right. So let's do our tight ends, and then we're going to recap the offense. So tight ends, we obviously know Irv Smith is a lock. We know that Drew Sample is a lock.
Yeah.
I think after this, it's either going to be, I think they're going to keep 3. I think it's going to be Tanner Hudson or it's going to be Mitchell Wilcox. Yeah. And that's it. One of the 2.
And I think we both feel the same way.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to keep Devin Asiasi. I don't think they're going to keep both Wilcox or Hudson. I kind of think it's Tanner Hudson. I do. I think it's Tanner Hudson.
I do too.
So there you
go. There's a ceiling there. There's a skill set that may be unlocked, maybe won't be, but we know what Wilcox is. And we don't know what Hudson is. And I think they're hoping they found a diamond in the rough. And they're absolutely going to lose Tanner Hudson if they put him on the practice.
Oh, yeah, they will. They will. So might lose Mitchell Wilcox too. We don't know.
They might, yeah.
All right. So
Irv Smith, Drew Sample, Tanner Hudson.
Yep. And that's it. Everyone else is gone. All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll go over the defense.
Eastgate Smiles Dental Care is a warm and welcoming environment where expertise and customer service come together. As a local business, they love helping their fellow Cincinnatians manage their oral health and achieve a perfect smile. They pair the latest technology with years of experience to give you a smile worth showing off. They are dedicated to quality and convenience and can even perform dental crown procedures the same day in most cases. You like your smile, but they are here to help you love it. They personalize your care and match your needs. Call them today at 513-528-1150 to learn what they can do for your pearly whites.
All right, I think we're at 26. But this has been a little chaotic and I've lost count. So
it didn't work last time either. So I don't know why you even bother having this list.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. All right.
So do you have a list you're working off of like I do? Or are you just going with it as we go?
Just going with it, man.
So I'm just hope you know that by insisting we have 10, you just cost us Jalen Davis or JT Fele. Just put that out there.
Yeah.
That's where this is going. I can already feel it.
Did.
I'm looking at my list. I'm like, that's where we're at.
Yep. All right. Let's go defensive line. So we know, obviously, Sam Hubbard. We know DJ Reader, BJ Hill, and we know Trey Hendrickson. Those guys are in.
Yep.
We know Joseph Osai is in. We know Miles Murphy is in.
Yep.
So now we got some interior guys. So let's go with who's not going to be there. I don't think Terrell Basham makes it. Shaka Hayward doesn't make it.
Nope.
Raymond Johnson doesn't make it.
Nope.
I think Zach Carter does make it.
Absolutely does. He's actually looked half decent too.
Yep. So I think Zach
shown
Carter makes
some
it.
real progression, which is something I openly said I did not think I was going to see.
Yeah.
We need to see it in a real game, of course, but he looks leaps ahead of where he was last year.
He does. Yep. So now we have Josh Tupou, Dominique Davis, Cam Sample, Jay Tufele, and Jeff Gunter. They're not going to keep all those guys. I say they maybe keep 2 of those guys.
Yep. Gunter's out.
You think Gunter's out? Yeah. Oh no, Gunter's out. Gunter's out. Yeah. I think it's Tupou Tufele.
It is Tupou Tufele. Okay. So the final list would be DJ Reader, BJ Hill, Hendrickson, Osai, Sample, Hubbard, Tupou, Murphy, Carter, and Tufele.
Yep.
Tufele has flashed. He looks better than he did last year. They like him. Tupou is a staple. We know exactly who he is. He's not great. He's good. He's fine.
Yep.
That's it.
Give Reader a spell when he needs to.
Yep.
I think Gunter makes practice squad. So.
I think Gunter makes practice squad.
Yep.
But those will be our 9.
Yeah. All right. So on the linebackers, this one's probably
our 10.
10. Yeah. So linebackers, I think, is probably the easiest one because there's 5. That's all it's going to be. It's going to be 100%. We're going to have Jermaine Pratt, Logan Wilson, Akeem Davis-Gaither, Marcus Bailey, Joe Bocci. That's it. Those are the 5.
That's
nobody else.
Yep. It's
those
easy.
5.
It's nothing's changed. It's and to be clear, I'm very happy with those 5.
Oh yeah.
We have one of the most solid linebacker cores in this league.
Yep.
Not necessarily like the elite of the elite, but like, man, it's solid.
Yeah. You and I were talking about Akeem Davis-Gaither starts for 80% of the teams in the NFL. I mean, and he's going to walk after this year as a free agent.
He is, and he'll end up having starting snaps at some other team. He'll get paid, and he should.
I wish him well. Not many teams have a Logan Wilson and a Jermaine Pratt sitting ahead of you. It just doesn't happen. So, all right. So on to the secondary. We'll do cornerbacks first, and then safeties. So obviously we know the cornerbacks: Chidobe Awuzie, Cam Taylor-Britt, and Mike Hilton. You're starting 3. Those guys are in.
Yep. DJ Turner, he's in.
DJ Turner's in. Yep. And then, let's see. DJ Turner's in. Jalen Davis is in. He's their slot backup guy. I think DJ Ivey has done enough. I do. I think he's done enough to really prove that he deserves a spot on the team. Are you
okay?
Are you not agreeing?
I do agree.
Okay.
We're not going to be able to hold 4 safeties.
We're not going to be able to hold 5 safeties or have 4 safeties?
4 safeties.
4. Oh, geez.
We're not. Your numbers don't add up.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
This is what I was saying about holding 10 on the O-line. If you
hold
10 on the O-line, then you have to make a cut somewhere else.
Cut Carmen. Carmen's gone.
Is it Carmen or has it been Brown?
It's Carmen. It's Carmen, and you know it. Get Carmen out. If he can only play one side.
It gets hard.
I know.
It gets
hard.
If
he can only play one side, he can't play. That's just a fact. I'm sorry.
That's where I'm at. I know they have like the sunk cost fallacy, and I know traditionally they're not going to let him go. It's a new team. They do things differently. He can literally only back up left tackle.
Yeah.
And Orlando Brown does not have an injury history. I mean, if they're putting 6 out there for the run game, he does have value there. But that is maybe his only value. Because you don't expect to need him at left tackle. So his only value either comes as a trade candidate or if you're putting 6 linemen out there.
The other option is not Carmen, it's Stanley Morgan.
That is another option.
And trusting Yoshivas and Charlie Jones to play special teams. Or it's Chris Evans and just keeping 3 running backs.
Yeah, but at that point, this is where the debate comes in, right? Because I'm just playing devil's advocate here. We're talking about the running backs. They will not trust Chase Brown on this field, at least not week 1. It might happen quick. It might be week 3. It might be week 5. But week 1, he's not trusted to be on that field, which means to them, they're stepping on that field with 2 running backs. One who just got injured.
Yep. All right. In your mind,
they're kind of stepping out there with 1 running back, Joe Mixon, if you cut Chris Evans.
Knowing that we are in this position we were in your mind, who do you think it should be? Stanley Morgan or Jackson Carman?
I think it should be Jackson Carman, or it should
Okay.
be somebody on the O-line.
Okay. Jackson Carman.
I think we're going to stash Kirkland and a handful of other people in the practice squad. One or two of them are going to get poached. Yeah. We're going to roll the dice. We're going to hope our 10th O-lineman is on the practice squad when we need him.
Okay. So it's Carman. Carman's gone. All right.
To me, it's Carman.
Okay. So that means DJ Ivy's
circles
in.
Back around. DJ Ivy's back in, and Jalen Davis is back in.
Jalen Davis back in. Sidney Jones does not make the team.
He does not.
Right. Let's see. Alan George does not make the team. But yeah, I think Chidobe Awuzie, Cam Taylor-Britt, Mike Hilton, Jalen Davis, DJ Ivy, DJ Turner. I think that's a pretty good cornerback room.
Just a step back from like the numbers and everything we're doing. You saw that interview where Alan George was like getting kind of choked up talking about Tyson Anderson?
That was Michael Thomas.
Oh, it was Michael Thomas.
Yes, it was Michael Thomas. Yes, which is why the next part is going to break my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that brings us to safeties. And this whole number thing over here, I'm going to shut that down because I've lost track a long time ago. So back to safeties. So we obviously know their starters are going to be Nick Scott and Dax Hill. And then they're going to keep Tyson Anderson and Jordan Battle. Tyson Anderson picked off 2 passes. He's an athlete. They know it. We've seen it. He can't be released now. He will not make the practice squad. He'll be gone. A guy like that moves 4.36 speed does not stick around. So
no, and it shouldn't even. That's not even really the question. I think he's earned his spot.
Oh, I totally agree.
You know what I mean? It's not even just about protecting the future.
Yep. Totally agree. So, and then you have your 3 specialists, and I mean Cal Adamitis is the long snapper. Evan McPherson's the kicker. I'm assuming that you believe, like I do, that Brad Robbins is going to make the team and Drew Chrisman will not, right?
100%.
Okay. So it really comes down to a couple players. It's, do you want to keep Michael Thomas and get rid of, or Michael Thomas and Stanley Morgan in exchange for like a Jackson Carman? Well, we've already cut, but like in exchange for an extra offensive lineman, maybe get rid of one of those defensive linemen or get rid of Chris Evans. You know what I mean?
Jalen Davis. He could go. Yeah.
So
I want to make it clear. I think we've both agreed on this, but I keep bringing up Jalen Davis because I feel like DJ Ivy is above Jalen Davis.
Oh, Jalen Davis, though, he's like Mike Hilton. He's like the slot backup, I think.
Oh, I know, but I just don't think they're going to put DJ Ivy on the practice squad. Which is why I think Jalen Davis makes the team. But he just would be one of the cuts. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
He's one of the potential cuts.
Right. I understand what you're saying. Yeah. I don't think he will get cut.
No, I don't either.
Yeah. But no, this is not easy. It isn't easy doing this. I don't know. There's a lot of guys. There's a few guys that we're letting go that I don't want to, like Stanley Morgan. Both he and the state Michael Thomas, both great special teams guys.
We kept Stanley Morgan.
That's right. We kept Stanley Morgan. We got rid of Michael Thomas. That's right.
I'll do the whole rundown here in a minute. The only thing I feel like we should go back to now is because now we're only keeping 9 linemen, and Carman isn't one of them. Do we think that increases Adeneji's chances of staying on the team?
Cody Ford can play outside too.
Can he?
Can Adeneji?
I mean,
both. Neither of them really can. Neither of them are good. I mean, here's the reality of the offensive line that we're in. If one of those guys gets hurt, the guy behind him is going to be a substantial step down. That's just a fact. And that's how it is for the vast majority of teams. I mean, we're spending, I think, top 15 money on the offensive line. I mean, that's how it is. One of those guys get hurt.
I feel like every team needs the occasional reminder that there's maybe 1 or 2 teams in the entire NFL, any year you're talking about, any year, who looks at their O-line and is completely happy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No one likes their O-line.
No one does. So, it's tough. It's tough. But,
let's go over this. Go ahead.
Yeah. You go ahead. Go through
I was going to do the rundown of the entire list. Keep track as we go. Count them down.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. For quarterback, we decided it's Joe Burrow and Jake Browning.
Yep.
For wide receiver, it's Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Trenton Irwin, Charlie Jones, Yoshi, and Stanley Morgan.
Yep.
Tight end, we're running with 3: Irv Smith, Drew Sample, and Tanner Hudson. We have him kind of as a late riser. For safeties, Dax Hill, Tyson Anderson, Nick Scott, Jordan Battle. Don't think that was ever in question. For running backs, Joe Mixon, Travion Williams, Chase Brown, and Chris Evans, with Chris Evans being, in my opinion, maybe the strongest cut candidate when Collins comes back.
Yeah.
We're running with 9 O-linemen. We're running with Orlando Brown, Alex Kappa, Ted Karras, Jonah Williams, Cordell Volson, Max Sharping, Deontay Smith, Cody Ford, and Ben Brown. Ben Brown, I do think, is maybe a swing, but I like him better than Trey Hill. So,
okay.
Cornerbacks: Cheeto, DJ Turner, Cam Taylor-Britt, Mike Hilton, DJ Ivy, and Jalen Davis. And the D line is insane. When you read it off, our D line is so good, dude. Like,
I know.
When you're looking at it,
it's nuts.
like I was making this list earlier today. I was just like, this is a wild list of people.
Yeah.
Like the talent we've got. But anyways, DJ Reader, BJ Hill, Trey Hendrickson, Osai, Cam Sample, Sam Hubbard, Josh Stupo, Miles Murphy, Zach Carter, J. Tufele.
Yep.
Linebackers are running with the exact same ones we had last year: Logan Wilson, Jermaine Pratt, Keem Davis Gaither, Marcus Bailey, and Joe Bocci. And then McPherson, Adamitis, and Robbins coming in for the kicking team.
Yep. You know, the defense. So when you think of our defense line, you talked how deep it is. You know what I mean? We have good edge rushers. We have a great nose tackle. What's the one thing it's missing?
A good penetrating 3-tech.
Right. Which was Geno Atkins. Geno Atkins left. They replaced Geno Atkins with, oh my gosh, plays for the Steelers now.
Oh, Ogunjobi.
Ogunjobi. Yeah. And he wasn't Geno Atkins, but he was okay. He was good.
He was erratic. He wasn't consistent, but he did get stuff done.
Yeah. If Zach Carter can step into that role this year, this defensive line will be terrifying because you will have everything. I mean,
I don't need him to be Geno. That's never going to happen. But if you could be Ogunjobi, I'd be happy.
No, Geno's a Hall of Famer. Geno's a Hall of Fame football player. So, but yeah, if you could be Ogunjobi, I'd be very happy with Zach Carter being Ogunjobi for sure. But it would remind me of Geno playing next to Domata Peko.
Yeah.
With Dunlap and Michael Johnson on the outsides. It's a nasty defensive line.
Yes, it is.
Nasty defensive line.
Even if Zach Carter doesn't take a step, this is a nasty defensive line.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It is.
I mean, it just is. Like, there's a ton of talent on this thing.
When
we start bleeding these people, which we will eventually over time, it's going to hurt. Almost every one of these players will be missed.
Yep. All right. One thing you're looking for Saturday night, Bengals at Commanders, last preseason game. Just one thing.
Chase Brown. I'm still watching Chase Brown. I hope they give him an O-line to run through, but if not, I hope we see him make something out of nothing, which is kind of what I think the only option he has at this point. I still believe in Chase Brown, Jason.
Okay. I am going to be watching Miles Murphy. He was out second preseason game with an illness, I think. I want to watch him, and I'm hoping Tanner Hudson goes off because he looks
Tanner
pretty
Hudson's
good
up there too.
He looks pretty good before he got a concussion in week 1. Missing week 2 hurt, but nobody really stepped up. We haven't seen Irv Smith yet, and I mean, we saw what Asiasi and Drew Sample can do with the ball, and it's not much. So
no, it is not.
No, it's not. So I'd like to see Tanner Hudson and Mitch Wilcox for that matter. I'd like to see them both. So yeah, that's
how do you feel? How do you feel? This last thing, and I think we're wrapping it up.
Yeah,
Drew Sample's a lock. We know that.
Yes.
In your perfect tight end room, is he a lock?
No.
Would you rather cut Drew Sample?
Yes. We can't.
I know.
I know. He's a decent inline blocker. You know, he's an extra. He knows the playbook. I mean, the difference between Irv Smith's ability to stretch the field, Drew Sample doesn't have that ability. So
I'm talking about instead of keeping. I'm saying, would you rather keep Mitchell Wilcox or Drew Sample?
Oh, I see what you mean. So you're saying no? I don't think so. I think
I'm just so bummed out by Drew Sample.
I know. I
hate him more than I should.
But
hate's not the right word. But
yeah, hate's a strong word. But he does provide some stability in the run game. He knows the system.
He does.
Yeah. So no, I wouldn't keep Hudson or Wilcox over him. I don't know because now I like but he's a good blocker. He is a good blocker. If I knew, oh man, now I'm like really trying to convince myself to do it.
I mean, it doesn't matter. They're keeping him, but you know what I mean? It's worth thinking about. Like
I know.
I feel like Drew Sample's like a staple of the team, and like,
yeah.
Does he have to be?
No, I don't know. I think he signed a 1-year deal going into this year, right?
There you go. Yeah. Maybe Tanner, maybe Hudson takes a leap, and we let Drew Sample walk.
Possible. I don't know. I doubt it, but possible.
I do too.
Anything's possible. They do. I don't know. They liked him enough to take him in the second round. Yeah. That was a John Ross pick, if there ever was one, other than the John Ross pick, which was a very John Ross pick. All right.
Maybe the worst pick in franchise history, if we're being honest.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. All right. That does it for us. Thank you again for tuning in. Again, we're on Orange and Black Insider on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcasts. There's a lot of great podcasts. There's OBI. There's Chalk Talk. There's some great stuff. We got Talking Football with Bengal Jim and friends on there. Check it out. Subscribe. Follow. We are brought to you by CincyJungle.com, SB Nation Cincinnati Bengals site, and sponsored by Eastgate Smiles Dental Care. Hooday, Kevin. Have a good night. Hooday. I'm excited for Saturday. We'll be back. We'll kind of wrap up the preseason next week.
Yep.
All right.
I'm excited, man. Hooday.
Hooday.
That's great!